How do you keep 14-year-olds from comparing themselves to seniors?
I think it starts with when they enter the room. Rule number one is be a good teammate. And this is a place of inclusion. This is a place of togetherness, camaraderie. The atmosphere of the energy is positive and uplifting. We're here for each other and we look out for each other. That's number one. And part of that means there's talks, both public and private, with individuals, that the seniors, the upperclassmen, are here. You guys are here for to model what it means to have great energy and great focus, to have intent with lifts, with repetitions, and there can be communication too, and that we're all in this together. The young guys are here to be inspired. I often go to the story of, like, when I was a freshman, and playing football in high school, we didn't touch the varsity guys. Like, we weren't around them at all. But one time I got to see some of the varsity guys in the weight room, and I saw Andy Branham. He was the quarterback, and I saw him doing bar dips, and he was jacked and athletic and threw the ball hard and all these things that I was like, damn, like, I want to be like that. And he was like, bar dips are the best. And he said something. It meant a lot to me. So to me, to be a young guy, a freshman, who we invite mature and hardworking freshmen, we have, luckily, and by good fortune, we have space sometimes for 8 to 12 freshmen to be in that environment in our football class, in our football section. And it's a dream, I think. And so looking at it like that, I think it's not a comparison game, and the reminder that we're all in this on our own journeys, at our own speeds, in our own ways, and that differentiation is essential, and we have to think of it like that. And then and if everyone's doing that, it's like the old Cincinnati Reds example with the Big Red Machine. I remember Sparky Anderson, who was the manager of that team, and they won championships, World Series, 75, 76, back-to-back World Series champions with Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan, before I was born, but I've heard of it and read about it. And Sparky Anderson said, these guys weren't necessary. They were all so individual in the sense that they were so cared about winning and playing good baseball, that's what made the team so good, because they were inspired by each other. There wasn't any hate. They were also focused on their own production, and on their own success, and on their own development, and on their own playing baseball in a process-oriented way, the right way. All those guys, that it spread like wildfire to the whole team, and they were all like that. So he said everyone wasn't necessarily like about everyone else, but because they were all so focused, that was an energy of having this ship that was raised by that kind of tide, because they were all working so hard in their own roles. And so I think there's an element of that. I think if everyone is so focused on what they're doing, it's not a comparison game with each other, but it's an inspiration game. And so I think these are all aspects of it. And just to remind young 14-year-olds that when you are a senior, you're likely going to be just as developed, or even more so. We've had these cases throughout the years, and I tell them, like, when so-and-so was a freshman, like, you just trust me, like, you're way farther along than he was, and look at him, you're inspired by him now, like, just wait until you're a senior. So there's so much of that, and that's been proved. There's evidence of that. And so it's really cool, because not only do you have this inspiration and you have this modeling and you have this, like, you kind of like look up to these guys like heroes who are older and doing things on in the strength room, in the training sphere, and on the field that you want to do. So you have that to be like inspired by, and then you have them to watch, and then you have this memory once you get to 18 years old, 17, 18 years old, and you're a senior of like, I remember where I was, I remember where that guy was, and now how cool is it that I'm doing that? And it's this cyclic and amplifying thing that the more of that we have, the better it gets, and it's just different than thinking of it like they're separate, or like the old school, like where you looked at the young kids as like, oh, like, get out of here. It's like, well, no, you were there too. So none of that. Like, be a good teammate, rule number one. And I think you get in that type of mentality and that type of attitude and that type of thinking of it, you get this inspirational quality of it and this communication big brother aspect of it. And so I think that's what it takes, and I think that's what it does. That's what it is, to feel like there's no intimidation, there's no comparison. It's really just inspiration and learning how to approach each day with this. This is the day. This is the day. The dog. This is the day. Today is it. Today's the day. And that kind of approach, exposure and consistency and attitude and rule number one, be a good teammate, it adds up.